Hello, Debbie here. Welcome back to Barossa Valley Crafts. Today we're going to have a go at making this one. So it's a, pop-out window card. So it looks like that when it's closed. That's the back. But it pops like this. So it looks like the snowflake is floating. So it looks like that from the front when it's open. Looks like that from the top. And that's the back. So it's easy enough card to make. If you've got a die cutting machine, it will make it easier to do this. If not, I'll show you another way to get this cut out in the front of the card. Anyway, let me show you how I put this one together. So I'm going to bring my scoreboard in. So if you don't have a scoreboard, it doesn't matter. You can just use a pencil and a ruler and just mark all the marks and then join them up to make the score lines. So the base card is 12 inches by 5 3/4 inches, or 305 by 145 millimeters. We're going to score it at 2 7/8, 5 3/4, 8 5/8, and 11.5 inches. In millimeters, that's 72 millimeters, 145 millimeters, 218 millimeters, and 290 millimeters. Then you'll need some pieces. So we need, this is the mat for the front. Now I've actually got two on the go here, so I'm going to be changing to the other one soon. So you need a mat card, which is 5.5 by 5.5 inches, or 140 by 140 millimeters. The decorative paper to go on this one is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 inches, or 133 by 133 millimeters. Now this piece here, so the mat on the back of this, you need 3 of those. So they are 2 5/8 of an inch wide by 5.5 inches long, or 67 millimeters by 140 millimeters. Now that's the gold piece. So you need 3 of those. Then the top layers for those, so you need one piece that's just blank like this to do your sentiment. And on the inside there, you can see there's more on the inside. So all 3 are the same size, but 2 decorative and 1 for your sentiments. And they are 5 1/4 inches by 2 3/8 of an inch, or 133 by 60 millimeters. So that's those. And then for decorating, I'm going to be using this, which is just a snowflake that I've die cut out. You can use anything from your stash to do that. And you'll also need a piece of acetate. So it needs to be long enough that it can go through the circle and about 3/4 of an inch wide. So if you want to do it a bit longer, you can. So I need that too. And let me show you how I put this one together. So to start off with, glue your front mat layer to your front top paper. Now I'm just using turbo tacky glue here, because you need something that's going to stick quick. You can use double-sided adhesive. And we'll just pop this on here. And give it a bit of wiggle space there. Okay. So once you've done that, Now, if you've got a die machine, you need a circle that is 3 1/4 inches in diameter or 85 millimeters. Put that on your card and run that through the die machine. If you don't have a die machine, you can trace a circle and then cut it out with a blade. Or I recently found one of these where you would put it on here and it's got a blade in here and you move it to the size circle that you want. Let me see if I can get this to work. I haven't actually used this much yet. Hopefully that's about the centre. So holding it firmly in the centre, put a little bit of pressure on it and rotate this around. And if that's worked properly, which I hope it has, there's your circle cut out. I've missed it in a couple of little spots, so I'll just grab some little scissors. And I'll just trim that little spot that didn't quite have enough pressure on it by the look of it. There we go. A couple more little spots here. If I'd put enough pressure on it, it would have cut out all the way. So that's just another handy little tool if you don't have a die machine. Oops. Oh, there you go. I'll just trim that little bit of paper up there. Okay, so that's another way you can do your circles. Once you've done that, with your smaller tab edge to your right, put that in place, don't attach it yet, and using a biro or a pencil, draw a circle and then cut that one out so that you'll have a hole in the centre of that. Now I've done one a little bit earlier, so I'll just bring that in. So that will then give you this. So these circles you need to match up perfectly. So what we're going to do next, with your little piece of acetate, here it is. So I've put some double-sided adhesive on each side and we're going to attach that in about the centre. So we'll remove the tape from one side and pop that into place, because that's what your little piece is going to sit on in the middle to make it look like it's floating. Okay, now I'll remove the other side of it. You don't necessarily need to put it on both sides, but I did. Now, if you want to, you don't have to do what I'm doing now. If you wanted to, you could make that the inside of your card and just decorate the front. But I'm putting it in between the base card and the front of the card just to give it a bit more strength. So now I'm going to add some glue to the other piece that we die cut out earlier. And this is going to be the front of the card. Just be careful that you don't put too much glue too close to the centre or it will ooze out. Now, if like me you're using directional paper, make sure you've got it up the right way. Line it up with the circle in the card and push it into place. There we go. So now we're going to fold it on the score lines. While the glue is still a bit damp, fold it so it's got a little bit of give in it. Give it a bit of a burnish. Don't fold your acetate. You want that to leave curved. And then we're going to fold it in the centre fold. And this will be in the back section. And here's our little tab to close it all up in a moment. from there, we're now going to add these pieces. So there's that one and this one. So I'm going to attach this to the backing sheet. Put it up the right way. Again, this is directional paper, so you need to make sure you got it the right way up when you're putting it all together. Try and line it all up before we attach it. There we go, and we'll just pull the other bit of packing off. Right, now we're going to put those on the inside of the card. So they're going to be here. So that's what you're seeing with this one. You can see it on the back of the card there. So again, make sure you've got it the right way up. I've already used double-sided tape on here just to make it a little bit quicker. And we'll pop this one in here. I'm working in my own shadow here. It's a bit hard to see. There's one. And we'll just do the other side. Line it up before I take the other one off this time, in case I muck it up. And remove the other piece. So that's that done. Now we're going to fold this over, and I've already put a bit of double-sided tape here. Again, you can use glue if you prefer. Totally up to you. And then we're going to fold the card closed, and that should line up on there. And that will now give you your card base. So there you go. And also what I did was I've also cut a ring to go on the front. So what I've done there, I've used 2 dies, one a little bit bigger than the other, taped it onto some gold cardstock and put it through the die machine, and that has now given me this. So now I'm going to stick that onto the front. So this is great. It's got a nice little fine tip on it, which is really good when you're using thin areas for gluing. This is a art glitter glue here. And pop that over here. Just bear in mind, if you're making this, don't have it too thick. Like if you have a thick decorative paper and a thick card, you might have a bit of trouble when it comes to folding it. Okay, so we'll just pop that into place. There we go. Now we're going to add, so this, the sentiment is going to go on the back. Oh, I've already got tape on there to do it. I don't need to put the glue on. It's up to you which side you put on. That's that. And now we're going to add, so I've got a little bit of double-sided tape on my snowflake. Again, you can use anything from your stash that's going to fit inside that circle. I'll just pop that into place there. There we go. So that's it from the top. That's from the front. So now I'm going to add a sentiment. Now, I have been introduced to a new tool and it is awesome. So I got this one from Craft Zone, and it's Nellie's border ruler. I don't know if any of you have seen this before, but I'm going to show you how it works. So you pop your sentiment onto a bit of card, and how many times when you're trying to cut out a border does it get mucked up, and it's not the same. And I like my border around that to be all nice and equal. So with this one, you've got some different measurements. You've got 3.5 millimeters, 2.5 millimeters, 3 millimeters, and 5 millimeters. Well, I want a 3 millimeter border around my sentiment. So there's a lip on here. So with the 3 millimeters facing up, so you can see which one you're using, move it until it hooks onto the edge of your sentiment, and then using a blade, cut that piece away. We're going to do that all the way around it. So I'll add a link to Craft Zone where I got this ruler from, and it's great. And if you've got really odd sized sentiments or odd shapes, you can just get it to match any size that you want to use. It's brilliant. And so again, just slide it until it hooks onto your other layer and trim the excess away. And then you've got a nice even border all around your sentiment. So we're going to pop that one. I think I'll pop this one here. So I'm not going to glue this end of it because it'll overhang, and when it's standing up it'll still stay unattached and pop out a bit. You can, if you want to, use double-sided foam and have it three-dimensional. There we go. So look, from there you can add more decorations to suit what you want. But it's a nice fun card, and you don't need a lot of tools to make it. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, do give me the thumbs up. And if you'd like to join me on my Facebook group, Card Making for Beginners and Beyond, I'll add a link in the description, and you can come and share your creations with us. Thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye.